Did you know Coastal Carolina University has a club men's rugby team? Hi, my name is John Paul Lavecchio, and with me I have Coach Thomas Petit. Thank you for being here, Coach. Nice to meet you.
Glad to be here. Love to talk rugby.
Thank you. So, what has your experience been as a coach with rugby and also a player, and why do you like it so much?
I started playing rugby in college. I went to Western Illinois University and played there for 4 years and fell in love. Moved back home and got involved with the men's club for a couple years, but then I got hired as a police officer. And I was really in love with the job at the time, and I didn't want to risk injury, so I gave up rugby for a while. And luckily for me, I saw an article in our paper, our local paper, that the high school was starting a rugby team. And so the guy starting it was a lawyer. I knew him from the courthouse, so I just went up to him one day and asked if I could help out. And 12 years later, I'm running the program.
Awesome.
Getting involved at the local university, with the women's team, and just going from there and fell in love.
Sure. So what do you like that you think separates rugby from other sports?
The brotherhood and the sisterhood that exists. It doesn't matter where you play in the world. When you set foot on that pitch as a brand new player, you are welcomed. Regardless of your size, regardless of your personality, anything about you, it doesn't matter. There's no judgment. You just become a rugby player, and you get treated like that.
So how do you try and work on, what are some of the things that you're trying to do to continue your experience and as being a coach and grow in your knowledge of different ways to coach?
I watch or read something rugby every day. If you stop trying to learn, or you think you've learned it all as a coach, then you're pretty much useless from that point forward. I've been very lucky to get some opportunities to study abroad. I went to England on a scholarship for coaches and got to study with the Saracens and the Harlequins and watch practices and listen to coaches and how they do their whole youth program. And then I got to spend a week with the Kenyan Rugby Sevens team in Los Angeles this last January, and to be right next to the coach and the trainer and the players and the strength and conditioning guy and watch them do their thing at one of the highest levels, it's just such a good learning experience. So I just keep trying to do things like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So sounds like just continuing to get yourself exposed and meet different coaches and different players, always growing, always reading. That sounds good. A question that I have is, how do you try and teach some of those things that you're learning to the better players, the more skilled players who know the sport well, compared to rugby isn't a high school sport, at least across the country. And so it's a growing sport, but a lot of people are coming here learning how to play rugby or have never played rugby before. So how do you try and balance teaching those more higher skills to the players and helping the team grow, but also getting new guys integrated into the team?
Yeah, it's always a challenge, especially when you're not, have a whole coaching staff. Currently, it's me and a couple of friends that help out on occasion. So what I try to do is, if it's safety related, like the tackle, the scrum, then I will coach the new players. At least make sure the foundation of playing safely is there. If it's something to do with ball handling or how to run a play or something like that, then I'm going to rely on the veteran players to help the new players along with those kind of things.
Gotcha. And lastly, we missed this semester for having a season, and are there any things that are allowing you to be optimistic about having a season next semester?
I'm optimistic just because I think it's more healthy to be optimistic than pessimistic. But in the long run, it's very, very much not in my control. What I've needed to do, I've taken USA Rugby and World Rugby's return to play guidelines, which are very stringent, and I've submitted them to the school. And so if we get the green light, that we'll practice under those protocols so that we can return safely.
Awesome.
But I'm optimistic.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you for doing the interview, Coach.
No problem.